in Canton, Ohio. How you doing, Steve?
Good, good. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming on. I reached out to some friends just saying, hey, listen, like we are all in this together. You and I do the exact same thing. It's like, can we
Yep.
come together and just talk to people and just share some information, right? Because we're
Yeah.
all kind of in this weird place. Like right now, in front of our eyes, everything is totally changing and we are figuring it out. So
Yeah,
you're
right?
like, count me in. And I love it.
Yeah, yeah. The more we talk about it, the more the narrative is, the more we calm some nerves for people, for ourselves too. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not immune to it, or at least I'm not. I'm assuming you're in the same boat we are.
Same
It's
exact
kind of
thing.
have the, peaks and valleys, just a matter of, calming people's nerves, talking through it and making sure everybody's on the same path, right?
Yeah,
Basically.
absolutely. So something I wanted to talk about today with you, because of course this is what you do, is how do we get heard, right? Like I hear conflicting things from people, and I have my opinion, and you may or may not have heard my opinion before, but do we sell? Don't we sell? What are your
Mm.
thoughts right now with everything going on? Is it okay to still sell your product?
You bet your butt it is. And you better be if you want to get through this, right?
Right.
The way we have been describing it to clients and the phrase that we came up with is to be strategically present,
Mm,
not to try to take advantage of the situation. Obviously, you don't want to seem cold-hearted or taint your brand at all. But I think one of the things people and brands are learning right now is that the decisions that they make right now and the way they act and the messaging they put out and where the channels that they're at, it's not just for the next 10 minutes. It's not just for the next 10 days. The public and their audience is going to remember that for the next 10 years.
that's so
You know,
true.
it's not just, hey, well, let's just do it for right now. And then, once we get through this, the world will be back to normal. No, because people are going to remember how brands are. I mean, you
Right.
can, scale wise, um, was it Coca-Cola just shut down and stopped all their media buying in the Philippines because Philippines was having it so bad right now. And they just put out a presser. We're done. We're not doing any media buying. They still did their media buys. They just didn't deliver any ads. So
Mm,
they still had their media dollars still going into the economy. They're still doing it, but they wanted to focus their efforts there on actually helping the community. So think of how long that is going to last down there in the Philippines.
yeah,
Come on, I mean, what a great move. It's just a
absolutely.
good human thing to do, right? So it's just, that's the one thing I think people are starting to learn now is, hey, it's not just a matter of getting through this, which, some people are in survival mode. I understand that. But it's what's going to be our lasting impression and what are people going to remember about our company, our brand, and our messaging long after we're past this.
Right. I absolutely, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you 100%. And that's my take on it too. It's a keep selling, but be empathetic to what's going on, and don't try to guilt people into buying your
Yeah.
product or scare them into buying your product or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
still sell, but you've got to realize that what's going on, right, and
Yep.
adjust to that. And it is what it is. Like we're all in this together. We're all coming together to sort it
Yeah.
out. And I love what Coca-Cola is doing right now. So what do you do if a lot of brick and mortars obviously had to shut their doors, right? And shut
Yeah.
down, and some may have a website, but some may not have an e-commerce site to sell their product
Right.
on. So they're really having to change the game up a little bit. How do
Yeah.
you try to still stay alive if you're a brick and mortar? And let's just say that you have products in your store,
Mhm.
or maybe you don't. Maybe well, I would think most do. There may be a service like hairstylist and yoga studios and things like that that are more service based. But how can you switch it up? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, the only thing I can think about is if they just need to pump that e-commerce site on. They
Yeah.
have to. Like we have a client, they're manufacturing. They're local, but they do online, they do in person, they do phone orders. They had to shut down. They didn't have to, but they shut down for 2 weeks. They came back just online this week. Manufacturing isn't on yet, but they still had a log of orders that were sitting on their warehouse floor that then they said, hey, you can still order online, you can still order by phone, and if we closed while you were expecting to pick up your order, you can come through, no contact, literally drive through their warehouse. They changed their entire floor plan so people could
Wow.
drive through, and constantly they had people with masks pushing everybody through. They had people spraying everything down, disinfecting after every single car went through. They pop their trunk or tailgate, put the order in, and boom, they were gone. So like,
Holy cow.
and that's a 60-year-old company that just on a dime changed. So you
Yeah.
have to adapt.
They really adapted. What a cool
Mm.
idea, though, to have them just drive through the warehouse and to put all those systems in place to protect their customers
Yeah.
and totally shift gears.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that's
pretty
impressive.
amazing when they told me what was going on. And obviously I was kind of a little skeptical about, how's this going to work? I mean, theory versus reality, but they didn't have any hiccups. And they turned back on their online ordering because they turned that off. But they turned that back on, and orders just start pumping right back through again.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk to you now about Steve, the business owner, the marketing
Yeah.
guy, and the dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. All that mashed up into one.
You've got craziness because you've got 4 boys, which I didn't realize you had 4 boys
Yep.
until like 10 minutes ago when you
Yep.
shared this with me. And so you're homeschooling and you're running your
Attempting.
business. How the hell are you doing it? Like, what do you do?
Survival mode, right? We thank goodness my wife's a saint and she can handle all of it. But my wife does all of our copywriting here at the office, so she works full time with me. She also has her own business full time that she does on her own, her little side hustle as well. And now she's also she does like 90% of the homework with my kids. But
Oh,
yeah, we
that's
have 18, 17, 6, and 4. So the rough one, like I was telling you, is the 6-year-old who's in kindergarten. Hours upon hours of homework every day. So it's just a matter of, and you can't just tell him to do it. He's still learning to read. So now, after so many times, he can kind of do it himself and go through it, but you still got to watch it. But how we do it is basically I just lean on her. That's what it goes down to.
well, you better spoil the hell out of her when
I
this is all
try.
over.
I
Like,
try.
she deserves a really nice trip to somewhere safe, or maybe a really big diamond or something.
Yeah, right. Actually, we were supposed to be last week. We were supposed to be out in California, up in Napa, but we got killed for us.
Oh, I'm right there with you. We were supposed to be in Germany and Italy
Oh, that's
in
right. You're supposed to go to
middle
Europe,
of
right?
March.
Yeah.
And we were right on that fence of what do we do? What do we do? March 1st, everything was cool. 5th, it started to crumble. And then mid-March, before we were going, I think the week that we were supposed to leave is when they said, no, you're done. Forget it. So, yeah.
Yeah. One of my, Anthony, who's our SEO specialist, he was slated, I think, the second week in March to go to Japan for a second time. And leading up to it, I'm like, Anthony, I don't know if you should be going now. And then it was like 2 weeks beforehand. I'm like, Anthony, I'm not your parent. I'm just work with you. But if I was your dad, I'd tell you you're not allowed going. So
my parents tiptoed around that.
Right?
They didn't want to tell me what to do because I think they know when you try to tell me what to do, I'll probably do the opposite.
I'm going the other way.
I'm just hard-headed like that. I try not to be, but it is what it is. But they're like, "Are you still going?" Like every day, "Are you still going?" I'm like, "I get the point." So finally, it was like, "No, I'm not."
No. But work life, we started working remotely. I think this is our 3rd week now. We're still full go. But either my wife or I come into the office probably 4 times a week still, just to the mail, kind of just keep things moving along. And I can actually get things done here while I'm at the office. And then, once or twice, my wife, she'll come in and I'll stay home and work from home. So it's just that balancing act, thankfully, my staff, it wasn't very difficult for us. We have communications in place. We have a project management tool in place. It was literally, now you just can't see the people around the corner for us. So It was, thankfully, we had those things in place. A couple of years ago, we might not have been able to adapt this quickly, but thankfully we were. So
What tool are you using, or do you think has been like the most effective for anybody else who may have a team and not sure really how to manage them remotely? Is there one tool or several tools that you're using that is like made a huge difference right now for you?
Yeah, I'll give away some of our secret stack, but uh, Slack is 100% our internal communication platform. All of our internal communication, we have a Slack channel for every single client. We have a Slack channel for just reading and passing, blog articles back and forth. Like we have an SEO channel, we have a content marketing channel, we have a Google channel, we have a all for that, just to share things, amongst ourselves. That's number one. We wouldn't be able to do without it. We host on Google, G Suite. That's our email platform. We do Google Hangouts. We do, since we've been remote, we do 2 stand-ups a day, a 9 a.m. call for 5 or 10 minutes, and then a 3 p.m. call for 5 or 10 minutes. Just, hey, what's my priorities today, and what I get done today? Do I need to ask anybody questions?
Yeah.
And then we do use our project management tool. We bounced around over the years to a couple different ones, but we're currently on Rike is what we use for our project management tool. And Emily, who does all of our project management, she literally does all the client communication and organizes and creates and stays on top of every single project and task that we do, which is usually a couple thousand a month.
Wow.
So for her, thankfully, she's dedicated and she loves it and she's really good at it.
Yeah.
So she keeps us all on task. So those are our 3, if I would say, we use, obviously, we do have our marketing automation and our different networks and platforms, but for us to actually survive and not really have a hiccup or a roadblock anywhere, those are our 3 for sure.
That's awesome. And Slack is good. Caroline just commented saying loves Slack. And I know you and Caroline and Dawn work pretty closely together.
Yes. Yep. Great team.
And it is. It does really help keep everything organized. And what I really am hearing from you is that you have all your systems in place. I mean, it's almost
like a long time. It took a long time to get there.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not an overnight thing because it's a lot of trial and error and what works best and what doesn't work best. And it is putting all those systems in place. And it's cool to hear, which secret tools you're using to help keep that organized.
Well, there's a lot of good tools out there, and I'm not saying that I like Rike the best when it comes to a PM tool, but it worked best for us.
Yeah.
If I demo out a platform, I can tell you there's 2 or 3 other PM tools that I like better, but they just didn't work as well for us. So it's not a matter of just finding the best one; it's finding the best fit for your staff. And it's so hard now. Like, have you ever looked at PM tools and tried to figure them out? Like 10 years ago when I started, there was like 20 of them. Now there's like 20,000. Like, who the hell knows which one to pick?
Yeah, no, it is hard. I mean, it's challenging. And when you're like a solopreneur too, like I do most of my stuff. I have people that I will sub things out that help support me, and we support each other back and forth. But the majority of the stuff I'm doing on my own, and a lot of them are built for teams. And it's like it's too much. Like I don't need all that. But it's hard.
It'd be great if I had
really simple too.
Yeah. Oh, I understand.
Airtable has been working for me, and it's a simple.
Love Airtable.
Simple platform. Well, it's not really a simple platform. It can be complex, but for me,
the interface is simple though.
Pardon me?
Yeah, the interface is simple though.
Yes.
It's not overwhelming for a single person or even for a team. Yeah, we love it. We love it.
Yeah, I've been using that quite a bit. And Caroline was actually the one who introduced me to Airtable.
Really?
And I avoided it for a while because my brain doesn't have time to devote to this right now. I have other things I'm familiar with, and one day I'll get to it. And I'm glad that the one day happened and I got to it because it's allowed me to put everything into one place for myself and for my clients to easily access, to say, hey, and it's so organized, and it's been a huge help, honestly.
Yeah, we love it. We do all of our editorial calendars in there because then you can filter out by, channel, by campaign, by audience, you name it, you can filter and channel out. And then there's, that calendar view that you can sync it up to, which is
love it.
Clients love it. Yeah. It's great for us internally, but clients love it too. They're like, oh, I can see all this now in one simple place. Yeah.
Yeah. When I share with my clients, they say the same thing. Like, this is amazing. Or even my coaching clients, right? They're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like who knew? I'm like, I know. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. We
pretty
love it.
awesome. So how do we get our message out there right now? If you're selling, yeah, I think so. Here's what I see. I see a lot of people talking about this. It seems to be slowing down a little bit. And it seemed like every business in the world, businesses I didn't even know that I once signed up for their newsletter. I don't even remember doing business with them. I got an email from them.
Yeah.
And
5 times a day now.
yeah, I delete most of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what are you going to tell me that's different? The only one I paid attention to was Delta because those were my tickets.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah. So how do you get your message heard right now? Because social media right now is up. Everybody's since it's been going on, the usage is up. The ads are down, right? But the ad cost is down too. So
Right.
are
Right.
you
Yeah.
still running ads? Like, are we doing things more organically? What are your suggestions for people?
It, obviously, it depends on the client, their vertical, and their audience. But as a blanket statement, our CPM costs right now are less than 50% what they were 60 days ago, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Just supply and demand. The main thing I'm telling everybody, all of our clients right now, is be where your customers and your audience are. Right now, what's going through the roof right now? Connected TV, long form video, Netflix, Hulu, all those. So, those CPMs were, outrageous. Now, like literally like 60% of what they were. And the inventory is quadruple. So you're not competing there. That's one channel that's through the roof. Social, the inventory is exploding. The CPMs are way down, but it can seem a little, I'll show my ignorance right here, inauthentic.
Yeah.
By trying to attack them on social,
Yeah.
I just think it's always about the client and their audience. You don't want to be in this time. We always talk marketing. You always talk about being disruptive, and you want to be heard. You want to, I don't think now is the time to be disruptive. I think now is the time to, not to be a wallflower, but it's that balancing act. You want to find your fit right in there where you need to be at. You want to be heard, but you want to be genuine as well. So
Right.
it's all about the audience, where they live at, and right now, I'm not big on traditional, but I think there's a place for it, outdoor radio, TV. And like you said, you're getting inundated with emails. So I just think there's too much clutter right now there. And anybody that sees the word COVID or coronavirus on their email subject line, do they even read it right now? Open rate's got to be like 10% of what they normally are right now.
Right. Well, you know what? I sent an email out. Here's like a little lesson learned. I got my first hate email back.
Just your first?
I did. I got my first hate email back because I'm offering I want to help people, right? And I genuinely want to help people, which is why I'm doing this. And last week
why
I
we get
reached out
along.
to all my past clients saying, how can I help you? I'm not trying to sell you. Like, I want to help you. We've done business together. Like, you need guidance, you need insight, like call, like I'm here, right? So I genuinely, and you do too. A lot of us, we all really want to help. So I was offering what is my Ignite Your Digital Marketing, right? It's one-on-one coaching, 6 weeks, where I really teach all the important things you need to know about your SEO, your email, your social media platforms, just to optimize everything, right? It's a big overview and a lot of information. And I discounted it significantly to help out. I thought I was doing something really good. And a lot of people did sign on, so it was good. But one person reached out and said, you have no business trying to take advantage of people, during this time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just discounted it from $4.97 to $97, thinking I'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
How dare you?
I'm not. At first, I was going to cap it, and I'm like, I'm not capping it. Like, if you need help, if you really want to get this, and everything's on pause, let me help you. Oh boy, that did not go over well with one person, right? But then others signed on. But yeah, it's
Yeah. Well, it's always the silent majority and the hostile minority. It is what it is.
yeah.
If it didn't matter, you could have gave it away for free, and they still would have been mad. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this now? I needed it 3 years ago, and you didn't want to give it to me for free then.
Right.
So
Yeah, you're right. It's like it
doesn't
probably
matter what you
would
say.
have been.
Yeah, yeah.
It probably would have been. So how is everything going for you guys over there at iSynergy with
Good,
everything
good.
on your clients? How are they? How's everybody holding up?
A lot of website work, a lot of copywriting, a lot of statements, a lot of pressers, a lot of updates, about current state of where the business is at, doing business, change of hours, with local citation GMB, doing all those. That's kind of where we are. A lot of our time is spent now. I bet probably 90%. Design wise, not too much going on. So all those people on my staff, I've kind of turned us internally and looked inward. So we're auditing a lot, like our branding guidelines, our style guide, all that stuff, our content offers. We're going, diving deep on those type of things. If they're not doing client work, I'm just turning them inward to, hey, let's audit ourselves. Now's the time to do it.
Yes, absolutely. And I've done a lot of that personally.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
it's
take
the stuff that you always just put off, and you're like, we'll get to it. Every agency, you're always your own worst client. It just is what it is. So now we're trying to take advantage of the time now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And it's true. We do. Sometimes when someone will say, can I see your work? I'm like, yes, just don't please go to my
Yeah, don't look at mine though.
like, let me send you somewhere else.
Yep. I got a whole portfolio. Just don't go to my website, please. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think we were working on a piece of content, and it might be live. I don't know if it is or not, but it was just like hey, what to do in the downtime. It had nothing to do with marketing. It didn't have to do with our clients. It was just like, hey, why don't you do a vendor audit? Why don't you audit your subscriptions and your software and your platform? Like look at your style guide, your branding guidelines, your creative assets. Go over your website. How many people look at their own website? They don't. Go look, check for copy mistakes. Do you need to update images? Just kind of, just doing that internal audit. And there was a guide, I think Emily and Josie worked on it, but I think they put out, it was like 10 different things to do, which I thought was awesome and actually we followed it. That's what we started doing because we're like, hey, we're telling people to do it, let's do it ourselves. And I think that's where it originated from. But it was just some good things people don't think about all the time.
Yeah, you're right. And I know I've done it too. I wrote in the beginning, I did a blog post and I want to update it about, things to do. And look at your budget, right? Like revisit your budget. And if you're purchasing inventory or supplies, now's the time to kind of, look around and see where your budget is going. And if you can get those supplies either better quality or whatever, closer, local, home, US, right?
Yeah.
And refocus that way. But
A lot
yeah,
of the soft products right now, like not even just in our industry, but across the board, they're offering these huge discounts right now for buy for a year because their sales are down. That's what we talked about it internally. I'm like, hey, if we were ever looking to migrate or upgrade a platform or to another platform that maybe we couldn't afford or we weren't large enough for yet, hey, let's look back into it because who was it? It was one of the SEO platforms. They just 50% off of their already reduced annual license, to
I
go
think I
for a
saw
whole
that.
year. And I'm like, yep, there we go. That one's done for the next year. It's stupid not to
I
take
think I got
advantage
that
of
email too.
it. Yeah. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
just different things like that I think a lot of companies, should not take this time to worry. They should take the time to, now obviously there's a time for worry and I'm not much of a stress person. That's what I have my wife for. But kind of look internally, you know what I mean, and just get better at what you're doing. So that way, don't look at right now. You're going to get through this. We're all going to get through this. How start putting together the pieces and laying the plan and the path for when this does end. Then you can come out like a cannon and just come right out of the gates and be ready to go.
That is awesome advice. And I'm sure you're going to see that in a quote popping up on LinkedIn and Facebook too, because that is great advice. And it's so true. Like right now, put everything into place, right?
Yep.
Everything is in pause. So get ready. And because we are going to come out of this. And,
Yep,
and I really believe that we're all going to come out of this even better and stronger. I really do. And I know that when I said it like a week or so ago, the look I got back was kind of doubtful, like how, with businesses and all this. And I don't know how, but my gut really just says that we're going to be different. Things look different right now. I see the positive that's happening. Families are coming together. People are finding ways to connect when we're isolated. And they're valuing and appreciating all those things we took for granted and all the craziness. And they're slowing down. They're slowing down a little bit to regroup. And that's something, I always say the hustle is killing your business. The hustle culture is killing your business and you, because we go a million miles an hour. I know. I don't know if you agree with me or disagree with me.
No.
But I really do. Like
It's tough on life.
We just go so fast that we just don't appreciate what's happening, and there's that balance there. And I do think we're going to get out of this so much better than we were before.
I agree with you. I think people at the beginning of this, there was a pushback about like there was something wrong with being positive or being optimistic about it. But now I feel like people now are looking for that optimism, and they're craving it from the public. And I think that's where we come in too. This is going to be a slippery slope, but people trust brands more than they trust the government. So right now, if the brands are embracing this positivity and this optimism for where we're going and we're going to get through this, people are going to believe and jump on board and get on that train much faster than the president or whatever your affiliation is, the governor or local. It doesn't matter. They just believe brands. It's just we've been conditioned to do it. The other thing I wanted to bring up, which I'm excited, the most thing that I'm excited about all of this, is I was reading an article. It was on Entrepreneur about during the recession, about necessity, and during the recession of 2008, what great things came from that. Because people were sitting at home, you had to get creative. Like during the recession, Uber was founded, Slack was founded. All these great platforms that came out of that downtime. So, and that was the whole twist of the article was, hey, we can't wait to see what's going to come out of this one. During this time, hopefully this isn't going to last. It's different circumstances, but I feel like the same can happen. People are, your brick and mortars where you're saying those people, they have that entrepreneurial spirit, but they weren't set up for something like this. So maybe now they're at home going, oh, you know what? I've always been doing the hustle of keeping my doors open, paying my payroll, getting my bills paid. Now, you mean I have 4 weeks where I can actually do something and devote my energy to this dream and this plan that I've had for 5 years?
Yeah.
What's going to come from that? That's what I'm excited about.
Oh, amen. I love that. I can't wait either. Yeah, definitely. What a good positive note to end this on. So yes, Steve, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging with me. I was going to say this morning, but it's afternoon where you are. So
Yep. I appreciate it. Anytime. I'm always on board with everything you're doing. Anytime I can be a part of it, I always will.
Well, thank you. And you too. I mean, I love and respect everything you do. So, and I appreciate you doing this with me. So thank you. And I will catch everyone next time.
Take care.